I was just wondering about how you dealt with sexist journalism and sexism in general when you were Prime Minister in New Zealand, because I know watching your documentary and also seeing what Julia Gillard had to deal with as well is something that enrages me quite a lot. So I was just wondering how you make it about policy rather than your gender role as a woman.
Well, it took a while. It took a while, and I think it's taken a while in Australia, hasn't it? And I sometimes think the reason TV3 brought the documentary on me forward, because they didn't have any particular time to schedule it, was to perhaps say a little bit one up on the Aussies, that we had a New Zealand Prime Minister who was female who lasted 9 years. So look at that. But look, I mean, I could talk about my own experience, but I won't particularly. I think one of the things we can do in development is really try and open the way for women to make it as representatives in the political processes of their countries. And we have put out quite a good guide to lifting women's participation, and it's aimed at political parties. I mean, in so many countries, political parties, of course, are controlling who gets into a parliament, because that's the processes that they choose and select. And we compiled a best practice guide of how parties did increase their female representation. So you need to support women to be selected as candidates where they can win, and then to support them during the campaigns. And in a lot of countries, of course, women can't raise as much money. They don't have those old boy networks where the money is. They may face particular issues of physical security, which needs to be looked after in a campaign. And then at the stage when women have been elected, there's still a need for support, particularly if they're pioneers, and there haven't been many go before. I remember when I became a young cabinet minister in 1987, and one of the first callers I had was a person who's now Dame Margaret Baisley, who was a deputy at the State Services Commission. I don't know whether Margaret's here today, but I'll tell the story because it reflects very well on her. And she came to see me, and she said, look, obviously I'm apolitical. I'm deputy head of the State Services Commission, but as a woman, I want you to know that I would like to be able to offer you support as a young woman cabinet minister. I never forgot that. I think it's something that women who have achieved a position can do for others. So I think in terms of putting up the inevitable silliness and sexism, misogyny, which is in every society, you just have to keep a very clear vision, build your alliances to support, and really have a bit of a deaf ear to silliness.